Good morning, everybody. We've got a nice rainy day here, and I thought I'd do some crystalline messages. So I was hiking up to my spot, and since I'm a little bit off the beaten path right now, I was going up to the spot, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go. And I found this little area to do readings underneath these beautiful trees, but I'm like right next to the road, so people are gonna walk by and be like, what's he doing? Oh, doing tarot messages on the side of the road right now. We work where we can, right? This is kind of like make your office wherever it can right now while you're building your home. So I felt like doing some crystalline messages for the collective. Brought a lot of different decks with me. I don't know which ones I'm going to use yet. We are definitely going to keep with the Wild Unknown Tarot deck because there's got this really just beautiful. When I'm doing these crystalline messages, it just speaks to me in a very etheric and esoteric way that helps me to kind of translate a little bit more than the original Rider-Waite. So I'm just kind of wobbling in different decks, what speaks to me at that time. We might go Nordic. Since I am kind of in a little bit of a Norn focus on things. It's been a little bit more Norn than it has Nord lately. And what else? I think that's it. We also do have Beyond Lemuria too. It helps with the crystallizing of these messages. So what are we gonna start with? Crystalline messages for the collective. What do we need to know? Should we do, okay. Interesting. With all this stuff focused here, the energies here want me to discuss certain things, but part of free will choices, I'm not going to go into those things. So let's go ahead and we're going to start out with Odin in the Nine Realms. So crystalline messages, what does the collective need to hear for today, September 26th, beginning of Mercury retrograde? Beautiful. Yeah, I'm hearing Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter are retrograde. Okay, so then let's do a crystalline messages. What do we need to know for the rest of this retrograde season? Because we've got quite a few planets that are retrograde. So what do we need to hear for the end of this, for this next passageway of retrograde? What do we need to hear? So I want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank you to the Teams of Light. Boy, Loki. Interesting. Loki. There's something about the trickster that's coming up, but in a way of finding the humor in the harvest that's arriving. Oh, there's the Norns and the Valkyrie. Cool. Okay. All right. So Loki very much so is coming through right now about staying positive on this during this retrograde season. As you see, he's carrying a harvest. I was just drawn into that. So Loki very much so coming through about finding the humor in what's occurring right now, even if it might be, it's going to help to stabilize the frequency. So there's a new baseline frequency that we're all in the middle of integrating from equinox and from the full moon. And there's something about the expression of joy in this. And now Loki's got kind of a little bit of a different tonality to him, but very much so it's coming through right now about finding the humor in your experience and in your expression, because that play is going to help to integrate fully this new baseline frequency that we're all embodying right now. The Norns are really much so showing me the energy of water right now. There's something about water that's going to bring in a nice new flow for us as well. There's something about our personal debate. See how we have this base of this trunk? The base of this trunk has the energy of water in it. It's telling us about going a little bit deeper into the depths of our own unknown, or maybe even our known. Going deeper into the depths of our personal Yggdrasil tree, because there's something awakening or bubbling or boiling to the surface. And the energy of joy is going to help to shift out a lot of those old records and those old archives that are shifting. This also might have to do with hydration as well. There's something about Persephone coming up. Persephone coming out of the depths of hell. That's why joy and laughter is the thing. There's something rising up to the surface. There's an aspect of the feminine archetype or the feminine frequency that is coming back into the light, coming back into the spirit of forgiveness. And especially the Valkyrie right now, it's showing me this upward momentum or this rising up of dormant DNA, dormant structures arising. There's something about joy, laughter, and play that's going to help to bring this forward and up for all of us right now. And so as we're going through our revelation, right, and more of these frequencies of, because the Valkyrie kind of is speaking to me of war, as that energy is rising to the surface in the collective, making sure that we're in our play and we're in our happy harvest, right, our happy harvest, because there's a lot that we are going to be receiving, whether it's downloads, new income, you know, paychecks, homes, things like that, whatever you've been working on, calling forward into your experience as an expression of your creation, your creativity. That background orchestration is still unfolding for us right now. And so this is about, as these frequencies, as the energies of the collective are kind of rising up from the surface, right? Water and joy are going to help a lot in the transmutation of the pain body and a shifting of that frequency so we can elevate into this new baseline that we're all opening up to right now. Okay, so let's go into some clarifiers. Boy, nope, let's shuffle first. I forgot to shuffle. Pardon-moi. So, thank you to the universal guardians and the crystalline structures. What is this crystalline message that we want to clarify on this beautiful, beautiful rainy day? Beautiful rainy day. There's a purification of harmonics that's coming through, a way that we are harmonizing with the elemental structures and the newer structures here on Gaia. So toning will help a lot. And there's something about as Gaia's frequency is increasing, right? It pushes our stuff to the surface collectively, individually, right? And so it's really about us being able to stabilize in the higher octaves or in the new baseline frequency that Gaia has reached, which is very much so unlocking, you know, the 7 heavens of Gaia, the 7 realms of new earth for ourselves, and navigating these portals, navigating these ascension pathways requires stabilization, right? So what brings you joy? What feeds joy into your life? What creates harmony into your life? Because it's really about how do we maintain and sustain balance in our lives, right? And so gifting yourself the opportunity to stabilize at those frequencies is going to help, especially with this retrograde pattern, because once everything starts to go direct, I feel like there's going to be a forward momentum happening. Like this retrograde is really about going within, a lot of death and rebirth, a lot of renewal, a lot of pause, a lot of holding still, right? And so what's happening is the universe is working things in the background, but also from within as well. There's a lot of renewal, timeline shifting, timelines merging, convergence, right? Meeting people, aligning with source code, aligning with source consciousness. And so as we're in that in-between, in that void space or that pause, it's really about kind of going within, pulling up what we need to pull to the surface, but also taking moments to live in our joy, to have a belly laugh, right? Getting that Buddha belly, that Buddha laugh out again, because it really is about how we can find peace and tranquility through what is occurring, so we can stabilize and we can begin to build at that frequency. So the Norn, what do the Norns want to come through with? Reclamation of providence. What does that mean? I don't even know what providence means. Reclaim heaven from within. Reclaim your divine providence. Okay, so divine providence is basically, to me, coming through as like a divine inheritance, right? So a part of reclaiming that crystalline self and the crystalline vision is that we have to go within to remember, to rediscover what our crystalline vision is, and to claim that every single day. It's a declaration of sovereignty, a reclamation of who you are, and reclaiming that you have every right to be here and to be in your joy as you're going through your experience and in your play, Be careful of enmeshing frequencies, right? Enmeshment, entanglement, right? There's a lot of storylines that are brewing through the collective, and I found that I have to take time to pull away from physical interaction so I don't get caught up in other storylines. Because Gaia wants those storylines definitely gone. Because they don't fit her blueprint and her new reorganization that she's going through. So let's go now into, that was quick. Yeah, Son of Cups, Son of Cups. A reclamation of youthful joy, youthful innocence, and that youthful emotion. This is about grace and flow, opening up to that grace and flow. Right now, it's about seeing the beauty within all, seeing the golden chalice of light that within all that you encounter, if you can. Always, you know, this is not just all, but this is finding what your chalice is, right? So the chalice to me speaks of the Grail. And the Grail itself speaks of, right now it's coming through his body and his temple, but it's really finding that golden, beautiful brilliance of grace and of peace from within you, right? What is that for you? How does it sound? How does it feel? Wearing that, that skin suit of peace and of harmony, of joy, but also caring for that. Especially when it comes to emotions, there's some sort of emotion that wants to burst out, right? That wants to be seen, heard, felt. Shame, I'm hearing shame. So shame might be getting in the way of releasing this, right? Especially, you know, it's tough. It can be difficult to get your heart light on when the experience itself is going through a lot of shift and transition, and you're seeing mourning and you're seeing phases of fear and things like that. But there's something about allowing this really beautiful, innocent aspect of you to come out, to shine forward, that's going to help in the transition of others and in opening up their light, opening up their column, and opening up their themselves to their higher level of truth. The moon coming out. This is to me too speaking about the energies of the unknown, but it's speaking to me right now of actually the psychic realms. So I feel like this innocence is going to help to transmute and shift out, dissolve, dispel, whatever words we want to use, regarding what we're seeing, hearing, and feeling, especially as, you know, the volume gets turned up on the frequency, so does the third eye frequency. Telepathy starts to come online. Visions, our abilities start to come online. So there's something about this moon that's asking us to come into this place of innocence as we're in the exploration of the unknown, or we're in the exploration of the mystics, or the mysticism, or the mythical, or the magical, whatever we want to call it, the etheric realms, multidimensionality, interdimensional travels, things like that. Healthy curiosity and innocence is what's going to open up your senses and your abilities right now. Seven of Pentacles, we're in an ascension, right? We are in this, we're steadily working. This is about keep focused on your goals and aspirations as you're climbing Jacob's ladder into these higher realms, because a part of this piece by piece trajectory, this is also the self, when I was talking about the 7 realms of New Earth, or the 7 realms of Gaius, the 7 heavens, right? This is that we're climbing through every single stage. Kind of, sometimes we navigate a little bit more quantum between the different realms, right? But a part of stabilizing into this knowing and this revelation is the divine innocence is what's going to help you to activate and stabilize on the rainbow bridge. Son of Pentacles. Son of Pentacles. Keep your head up. You gotta keep your head up. Whoa. This is just, it's kind of this mourning down, the plunder, the shame, the guilt, right? This is saying that as you are traversing the ladders of awakening, of ascension right now through this retrograde, right? You might be feeling like you're down, or you're lost, or you're incompetent, or you're not worthy, right? Allow that emotion to come to the surface and allow it to shed its skin, because that's what Father Wands is coming through, is shedding that skin. It's shedding that old betrayal. It's shedding that old, it's shedding those old structures, right? It's shedding those layers of defeatist mentality, of guilt, of blame, of torture, of chaos, right? Because we're harmonizing with greater ease and with greater flow. Especially as we're opening up that innocence from within, we activate that light of like divine innocence and divine purity. Stuff's going to start coming to the surface. So when you're going through the divine innocence, and activating those aspects of you, and you start to feel these things come to the surface, it's a part of your awakening. It's a part of your ascension. It's a part of the jump up the ladder. It's a part of you going through your process right now. So you going through your process. Justice is coming out too as well, which is about things are coming into balance, especially with Libra season. This is the card of Libra. So thank you, Libra, for showing up for your season right? So Libra season is really about balance. So now that we've got Libra here, thank you Libra for showing up. What do you want to say about what is this? What's the crystalline message regarding regarding Libra season? Ooh, okay, yeah, okay. Let the wheel turn in your favor. This is about opening up to be able to receive this new pathway, this new opportunity, and that right now, all of your worries and fears are being brought into balance, right? So Libra season, the crystalline message, very simply saying, is that there is a new version of you, a new reality that is opening up right now, but we have to drop our guard a little bit. We have to drop our protections. We have to drop our fears and our kind of closing off, because whenever I see the rat over the cup, he's blocking out the light. And so right now there is a reclamation of these tendencies, right, that are getting shifted out because it's stating that there's a new cosmic orchestration, there's a new new web being weaved into your own life, right? And that the wheel is turning in our favor. Yep, the Fool card comes out. New journey, new beginning, new hope, new vision, new innocence, right? It's stating that these new journeys are opening up for everybody, and it's about patience right now, but we have to drop our guard to let this in. If we want to receive, we have to be open to receiving. Yep, here's the crow call, Hierophant, higher self messenger coming in. Hierophant always speaks to me, the higher self within, but this is that activation of a key code coming in from the elemental realms. So right now we're awaiting a key to arrive. This is the key that opens up this wheel of fortune, but we have to open up to receive this key. So it might be an energetic download, it might be actually someone that you meet, right? So once we get this rat off of the cups and we open up, this wheel is open to us, but it's this new beginning that unlocks this key. And it's the higher self providing this key. There might actually be a totem or a messenger, right? And I'm seeing Odin, hearing Odin, Odin's realms. And so there might actually be a key code that unlocks for us on our journey. Yep. There's a key code that unlocks, and it's going to help to break the heartache in our own lives. So the Hierophant is stating very much so open. This is a heart activation, receiving love, right? Clearing out the old relationship wounds, clearing out the old guards, because this key code is unlocking a new journey to be able to play more as the inner child. So it feels like there's another layer of the inner child or the divine child coming through right now. Yep, okay. Interesting. Father of Pentacles. There's something deep within the core of Mother Earth that's awakening through our ascension column right now. So this always is about the depth of the unknown and the depth of the mountain and starting a new journey. The Fool card's always about, you know, that journey up the mountain. And this is very much so saying that it's an as above, so below, right? So keep connecting to Mother Earth and keep connecting to Source, because running that energy through your central column is going to help to clear out a lot of energy. Also, too, it's very much so saying that Source and Gaia herself are going to help you a lot with this journey of unlocking this heartache or this heart pain, right? And this is how we connect to the Hierophant and this new journey. So this is about getting out into Gaia, connecting to the crystalline caves of creation, right? Connecting to the sacred womb space of Gaia so we can connect it to ours, but also keeping our heavenly connection as well. So this is about stabilizing in between the two frequencies, making sure that we are staying in that center point alignment throughout this time, because it's really going to help us to keep the flow and the fluid energy moving, but also our downloads are going to come from both. So when we were looking at the Hierophant, oh great, my cards got wet, so don't get sticky on me, please, because it's raining. Yay for cards getting wet. I've had to throw away, I think, 3 decks recently because of the rain. We need to make some waterproof cards. So to the people that make tarot cards, make some waterproof cards for us. Thank you. Love you. That'd be cool to have a waterproof Wild Unknown deck, one that's made out of like plastic or some sort of recyclable plastic, so we can utilize it. We'll go into Beyond Lemuria, because yeah, it's about those that sacred that sacred connection, as above, so below. That's going to help to unlock those keys, to connect more to the higher self, and to awaken those silent, dormant parts of ourselves. It's almost like Gaia's got a download in her crystalline grid for all of us to connect to. And so if you get out into nature and connect to Gaia's crystalline grids, there might be something out there for you. Might be a download, a purpose or a direction. Purpose or a direction. So let's go ahead and go into Beyond Lemuria. What does Beyond Lemuria want to bring forward for us right now? So, home. Coming back to home, coming back to the heart space of home. Lemuria, the energy of Lemuria. This is why those watery realms were coming up with the Norns. It's reminding me of stepping into the heart portal, because the heart portal is what's going to bring you home. I actually saw a really good video today on higher self that was talking about when there's nowhere to go home. Or where there's nowhere to go, we go home. So this is about a transformation of our reality to feel at home within the heart and feel at home, at home in the body. This is a divine union with self. This is about keeping that heart open and listening to the heart. So lately myself, I've been connecting more with Mother Mary, and Mother Mary reclaiming my heart space and listening to the heart. Keep listening to your heart, because your heart is what is a good vehicle or driving point of what the higher self is. And as Mother Mary's teachings are, Mother Mary says that the higher self is actually, the seat of the higher self is in the heart. And so if you are listening to the heart or the high heart, so I've been choosing to listen to my high heart because I have a lower heart that's a little bit more. Listening to the high heart, the frequency of the high heart, and what the high heart wants, that's going to help in guiding this process of connecting to that higher self, especially the key code. You know, when we were looking at the Three of Swords, which is all about heart wounds, right, is about listening to the heart a lot more, because there's some sort of message or key code unlocked in the heart that's going to unlock in this pathway for yourself, especially as you're going within, right, retrograde. We are still speaking about retrograde. With retrograde, this retrograde season that we're in, the more you dive into the heart, clear out the clutter of the heart, and step into the heart tonality, the heart song, the more you're going to begin to align that when, you know, Jupiter goes back direct. Because I'm getting that focus on Jupiter going direct. When Jupiter goes direct, there's going to be that expansion is going to direct us into a whole new pathway that we're creating in a heart-centered and a heart-aligned reality. But also, too, it's about filling up the heart right now. Keep filling up the heart, because there's going to be some beautiful heart expansive opportunities with lovers, with friends, with experience itself that's going to guide you to a place of home. Anything else from Beyond Lemuria? Anything else from Beyond Lemuria? It's cool. People are out walking this morning and they're just kind of like, man, there's a kid doing tarot cards on the side of the street. Yep. Welcome to Sedona. Alright, anyway. Anything else from Beyond Lemuria? Is there anything else that Beyond Lemuria wants to say? Surrender to who you truly are. So we got surrender and starseed elemental, and I feel like this is now coming through as a surrender to that you are you're more than you think you are. About surrender, it's dropping the fight, it's dropping the war, it's dropping the battle, it's dropping the brutality, it's dropping the resistance. So it's surrendering to the fact that you are this beautiful, glorious being of light, that you are a multidimensional creator, a multidimensional being, an interdimensional person. There's also something too about surrendering to the fact that you have abilities, that you are in fact of the stars, that you are made from Lemuria, that you are of elemental and galactic origin. I feel like a part of that divine surrender helps us to greater harmony with our gifts, strengths, and abilities, and the key codes that we're here to provide for the world. So it's not only that we receive these codes for ourselves and we use it in a form of selfishness on our journey, but for those that are here to awaken humanity, which if you agreed to be here during this time, you're here to be a part of the shift, right? So a part of sharing those codes, right? A part of volunteering in this is that we sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, we're here to share that essence with the world. So it's about really fully embodying your starseed self. It's about embodying your crystalline self. It's a part of embodying your elemental and galactic self. Surrender to your new creation too, because there's a cosmic webbing, cosmic weaving that's occurring, where we're integrating things from so many different lifetimes that are going to land for us and be able to propel us forward in the acceleration of our journey, that are providing us opportunities to do things that might be out of context with what would be normal in the lightworker roles, right? So your service work might be shifting and changing, or what you want to do is service, right? But you can do it as that crystalline self. Okay, you can do it as that crystalline vision. There's a lot of people that resist doing certain things on their pathway. I know right now that there's been a call, because the teams brought it forward the other day, there's a call for a lot of different people to step up into different realms of service, right? Like, so some people might be getting into advocacy, some people might be getting into politics, some people might be getting into behavioral health or plant medicine, you know, providing ceremony, sacred dance, music. You know, we're in that age of Aquarius where a part of the new that's rising up is you might be a part of the new solution, okay? So this is why it's important to access that self beyond the human aspects, and connecting to the crystalline or the divine essence of you, whatever you call it to be in your interdimensional, multidimensional creation, because it's asking us to step forward. Once these planets go direct, we will be stepping forward. And you might be feeling like right now this is that pullback, or that in-between, the pause or the break, to reclaim what that is for you. And we don't want to identify with, you know, so, okay, how's this one come through? We can identify as a starseed, we can identify as an indigo, we can identify as an ego, we can identify as a humanitarian, we can identify with so many different structures, but beyond that is the eternal essence of self that I've talked about very much so, which is the I am, which is expansive, right? And a part of the more that we expand beyond the identity of who we are is just magic, or just elemental, or just a crone, or, you know, whatever it is, right? The more that we expand beyond that, we're going to begin to be able to access more capabilities, and being able to weave them into one timeline where we're expressing all of our individuation, which is individuality, and that eternal expression holds more than just one thing, right? So like, it's about weaving. It's the cosmic dance of your interdimensional self coming into full union, and everything that you have to provide in this lifetime, and everything you're here to share in this lifetime, right? You know, even surfing can be, okay, because I was just seeing a surfer writing, and I was kind of hearing cosmic surfing, right? Even surfing itself can have a humanitarian code in it, or a light working code in it. So this is not limiting yourself to like, oh, I'm a light worker, I need to be a healer, or I need to be a tarot reader on YouTube, right? It's about that your hopes, gifts, dreams, strengths, abilities can show up wherever you're at, right? So your golden, glorious, beautiful light body self can express your divine DNA regardless of what you're doing. It's not about what you're doing, it's about what you're being while you're doing it. Does that make sense? So like, you can show up as the eternal self and work at 7-Eleven. You can show up as the eternal self and like be a motocross rider, right? Like, and each one serves the all. So don't judge yourself if your passion and joy and creativity is taking you to a realm that isn't like stereotypical new age light worker, right? It's about what you're being through that, because a part of this, and I'm hearing the cosmic empress and the cosmic joke that's kind of happening right now, is that it doesn't matter what you do, it's what you're being while you do it. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you do, it's about what you're being while you do it, because your higher self is the one that's orchestrating this, and it's going to put you into the places, it's going to assist you in going to where you need to go to receive what you need to receive on your journey. But also too is right now it is about for many people, so in the different waves of ascension, there's some in like the first wave, right, that are like very much so they're getting their gears down, they're like, we're here to build new earth. And there's some people in the second wave right now that I'm finding are like finding out more what their joy is. Each wave of ascension, and you know, please don't fixate to this, but this is kind of like the way I see it, is each wave has a different experience. And so if you see one person that's in a wave of like they're building retreat centers and but your wave and where you're at is calling you to do something a little bit more joyous, like working with Gaia, or like planting a garden, or doing music, or, you know, doing some sort of sports thing, or whatever it is for yourself. Don't make the comparisons on the journey for what you're being called to do, because what you're being shown and guided to do is perfect for you, just as the person over here that's being shown and guided what to do is perfect for them. And we don't want to judge what we're doing. We don't want to judge what we're here called to do, because each expression of our individuation is important for the role. It's a part of the mechanics of what we're here, what we're called to do, and to help facilitate in that. So try not to put too much pressure on yourself for not meeting up to someone else's standards or guidelines, and make sure that you are in that aspect of the elemental joy and the frequency of that as you're doing what you're doing, right? Because that's what's going to facilitate in bringing forward this new for the world, right? The new opportunities, the new joy, the new belief systems, the new shifts, and all of the different new that's arriving for all of us, right? So that's it. I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. Thank you to everyone continuously for sharing your light with the world, for sharing your love. Open for sessions again. I'm getting the website back up and running, just waiting for some things to align. So sessions are open up, readings are opened up. So if you need anything, you can reach out to me for now before my website gets up again. You can reach out to me on email, foundersoflight@gmail.com. Also still happily receiving donations. So thank you to all who have donated over this course of time that have helped out with the Amazon wish list, things like that. The wish list is offline because I don't have an address, but always happily receiving donations. And all of your support and guidance helps me, which helps me to keep my new Founders of Light and the new foundations alive and active as I'm rebuilding, restabilizing. So I want to thank you all for being here, for honoring yourself through this journey, through this shifts. And I know that some of, you know, our journeys right now are getting a little like head scratchy and a little bit, but the clarity will come when it's meant to, right? We just have to make sure our own internal home is in order and that we're stabilized and balanced and feeling good and fresh and renewed in this form, before we can land in that fresh and new. So it really is right now feeling like a time of like self-care, self-love, nurturing of self, balancing, finding new ways to stabilize and balance through everything going on, and making sure that we are staying connected to Gaia, that we're staying connected to Source, that we're staying in those connections and keeping them alive and active for everything that's trickling through from the source codes, to also making sure that we're purifying our energy body, and you know, even returning to sacred breath so we can come back to that sacred life and that sacred essence of self, returning to the heart, listening to the heart, staying with the heart, working with the heart, and allowing the heart to guide us in every now moment, to kind of begin to facilitate and shifting into a direction that's more joyous, harmonious, freeing for all of us, right? So love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. And with that, I'll see you guys on the other side. Namaste.